Hello and welcome, my name is Oliver and we will test a new format today, which I'm gonna call, News Ramble, Rambling the News, in which I will just go through news topics that I find and like on several web pages, and I'm gonna read a little about them, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think about them. So it's basically my opinion on shit, basically, so let's see where this leads us. I'm recording with not just the camera, but with this microphone and this one because I want to know which one sounds better. So wish me luck. Because this one is better quality inherently than compared to this one. But this one takes up so much space in the frame. So I'm really undecided, so I'm testing both. Let's get political. Right after I stop this auto-playing video. CNN, this is stupid. Trump's final days put the country at a dangerous crossroads. This is from CNN.com. Today is January the 8th, 2021. Donald Trump's presidency is in its final chaotic spiral. But even with the end so near, each hour seems to carry a new threat to American fragile democracy. With less than 2 weeks until President-elect Joe Biden takes office, the nation is on edge, unsure whether Trump will incite another round of violence or just carry on, petulantly seeking outlets to whine about Twitter's decision to ban him. This guy is such a child. Recognizing the instability, Vice President Mike Pence has not ruled out an effort to invoke the 25th Amendment. A source close to the Vice President told CNN Saturday night. The relationship between Trump and Pence is fractured. They haven't spoken since Wednesday, when a violent mob stormed the Capitol, and the President never bothered to check on Pence's safety. Stand-up guy, the President, isn't he? The insurrection put the country at a crossroads. House Democrats could bring a new round of impeachment proceedings this week, this time over Trump's role in inciting the deadly riot. My 2 cents from what I heard, he should be definitely held accountable for that. Because he basically told the people to go there and make their feelings known. And then they go there and they kill, like 4 people? Trump is directly responsible for that. President or no president, that's on him. So he should be held accountable for that, in my opinion. Every person that dies or gets injured because he said things that led to direct action by other people. Yeah, as a man in power, he has to be responsible about shit like that, and he hasn't been for 4 fucking years. It's a miracle. Shit like this hasn't happened a lot more often, actually. From their gilded bubble, top Republicans have mixed condemnation, mostly focused on Trump and his chief allies in the Electoral College stunt. Sorry, English is not great mine today. Sentence. Senators Ted Cruz of Texas and Josh Hawley of Missouri with a familiar refrain that any meaningful rebuke to this horrifying display would only serve to politicize it and further divide the country. I don't think America can be more divided right now. Honestly, it would not be surprising. What if America is at the cusp of a new civil war? That's scary to think about. Not just because, the lives lost in America, but also global political dimensions of this, and the economic thing, just the stock markets alone is gonna go haywire if something like this were to happen. Those calling for impeachment or invoking the 25th Amendment in response to President Trump's rhetoric this week are themselves engaging in intemperate and inflammatory language, Brady tweeted, and calling for action that is equally irresponsible and could well incite further violence. I mean, yeah, if you try to impeach Trump, his supporters are definitely gonna go up the wall. Unfortunately, they're not going up the wall to Mexico and leaving the country, which would be nice. Also, the wall was never built, so they couldn't if they wanted to. But, moving on, Cruz, too, is shirking responsibility and even made the comically implausible argument that he has actually been a consistent critic of the president. Say what you will about Trump, but Ted Cruz is the biggest asshole ever, but traitor to his own ideals. The guy runs against Trump, calls him, I don't quite remember the wording, but calls him bad stuff. Then he turns around and is on Trump's side for 4 fucking years. And now that Trump is about to leave the office, or even maybe get thrown out of the office, he's suddenly been a consistent critic of the president, trying to save his own skin. I hate that. You made your choice, Ted. Stick with it. Your own fault. Republican leadership has been mostly quiet, going through the motions of condemning the violence while refusing to endorse any meaningful action in response. Of course, because they always complain, but they never do any actual stuff about it. Democrats aren't that much better at it either, but just the Republicans are worse. Biden has shown little enthusiasm for impeachment, knowing that a Senate trial would suck the oxygen out of his first days in office and give Republicans a high-profile forum to argue that his calls for unity and pledged to cool partisan passions over campaign trial lip service. He says, "I'm focused on the virus, the vaccine, and economic growth," Biden said when asked about impeachment on Friday. "What the Congress decides to do is for them to decide. But I'm going to have to, and they're going to have to be ready to hit the ground running." I totally get that, because he wants to, get a job done and not deal with the old crap that's going out. On the other hand, in my opinion, Trump should be impeached, not just because of the lives lost on the Capitol, but to send a message to future presidents that they can't just say and do whatever the fuck they want and get away with it. Because that's basically what Trump has done for the last 4 years. And it's been a shit show. Sending a message to future presidents that no, you can't do and say anything you want is not a bad thing. Rein it in a little, especially after Trump. It's not a bad thing. Security concerns ahead of Biden's January 20th inaugural are growing. People are gonna go nuts on the inaugural day. I mean, that day is gonna be a tough day for everyone. After the failure to protect the Capitol last week, there is new concern on part of some Democrats that the safety of Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris could be compromised. Yeah, no shit. People who are very vehemently on Trump's side and who might have weapons and might be a little unstable because, they voted for Trump could be an issue when Trump leaves and the new guy who won against Trump is here. Are we going to see an attempted assassination on Biden on the inaugural day? I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried it. I hope it doesn't happen. It would be horrible, but I hope that Secret Service or whoever's responsible for the security at the inaugural address, well, he's president then, so it has to be the Secret Service. I hope they have their shit together on that day. Worries over future violence extend beyond the Capitol and its immediate surroundings. American and United Airlines, with the support of 2 flight attendants unions, 2 airlines and their unions, the flight attendants unions, working together, that's gotta be the first, have taken steps to beef up security in the air and on the ground. Both carriers have increased staffing at DC area airport, which will also see the deployment of Capitol Police ahead of Inauguration Day. An American has put a stop on alcohol service on flights in and out of the region. That is actually smart. Too bad only American Airlines apparently does this. United apparently doesn't. They probably want the money. Members of Congress will be provided with increased security in a coordination effort by the Capitol Police, the Sergeant at Arms Office, and the U.S. Marshal Service. So I guess in this case, when it comes to Congress, Secret Service is not involved. They might only be for the presidential protection and his family and all the old presidents still alive. Okay, this is great. While traveling through airports after several senators, including South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham, who broke with the president last week, were harassed by other travelers. Saving his own ass while Trump is going out of the office, is on his way out of the office. I can't talk today. It's incredible. You know what the strangest thing about all of this is, and I haven't been watching or reading the news regularly because it's depressing. What is interesting is that I've never so far heard anyone say, you know what Trump's loss actually means? It doesn't just mean that he's not becoming president for the next term, it means he can run again in 2024. Keep that in mind. He could be coming back, or he could try to come back. That is scary. Unless he goes to prison, everything is possible here. Why was a fascist white supremacist mob able to overwhelm Capitol Police? In talking about how the Capitol was stormed, do ties exist between the white supremacists who launched that attack and members of the police force? That's a good question, because the Capitol, I don't know exactly the security arrangement there, but I assume it's like any government building. And especially in Washington, D.C., I assume security is always on high alert because, it's Washington and it's the government. So how the fuck could people storm in there, and how could 4 people be killed in that? What the fuck? How is that even possible? The breach of the Capitol raises serious questions about what law enforcement did and what they should have done differently. Yes, that should be investigated. Democrats also praised the bravery of some officers, including Brian Sicknick, who died, according to officials, due to injuries sustained while on duty. Horrible that anyone had to die because of shit like that. Trump has not personally commented on his death. What a shocker. Yeah, what is Trump gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but it was worth the political capital of doing that? I mean, no, he's not gonna say that. He's a coward when it comes to things like that. And even if he would say something about it, it would be absolutely tone deaf, as we've seen in the past when he talked, I think, to a family of a deceased soldier, a soldier who died in Iraq, I think. Absolutely insane. It's good that he didn't comment on it, because he would look even more like an idiot. As hard as that is to believe. So that was one story, and we're already, I don't know how long in. fine. Keep safe, and thank you for watching. I guess this was a new format, News Ramble. Ramble the news. Yeah, tell me if you liked it. If this is in any way fun or interesting, maybe I should read something else than CNN. Tell me sources. Tell me what you want to hear about. Tell me what I can read and then discuss with you. That would be interesting. A little back and forth, a little input from the audience, so to speak. If there is an audience, I don't know. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Oliver. Goodbye.